How's it going, everyone? It's Sam. Blackrock had a rare outflow from their Bitcoin ETFs yesterday. They're selling. Let's talk about that, along with El Salvador putting a number behind how much more Bitcoin they want. They just secured that IMF loan. Some people are saying that they've turned away from Bitcoin because it's no longer legal tender. But now they're talking about hitting Bitcoin goal. And we have Tether making a large investment into a company that's been in the news for adopting Bitcoin recently. They put almost $1 billion into this company. If you don't mind, hit subscribe. Turn on the bell notification underneath the video so you can see future videos just like this one. Also, if you want to trade crypto, there's a link underneath the video to BTCC. You can get signed up in just a few minutes. You can start trading Bitcoin along with hundreds of other altcoins. And when you use the link underneath the video, you get a 10% deposit bonus on your first time deposit. And you get lower trading fees. You can use up to 500x leverage, which that's extremely risky, but to each their own, and there's no VPN or KYC necessary. Check this out underneath the video. Now, as we can see, Bitcoin is down at 97,400. There are definitely going to be some people that are spreading FUD today because of Blackrock selling. Now, what did it look like? Well, they sold about 750 Bitcoin. We also had Fidelity sell some Bitcoin. But this is very rare for Blackrock to sell anything. I think I can count on one hand how many times they've sold this year. But keep in mind, this is nothing for them. 750 is less than they have typically in inflows each day. This week, just this week alone, they've purchased 13,699 Bitcoin. So yeah, they sold 750 Bitcoin yesterday. They held the day before, but they had massive purchases Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. MSTR will probably be hearing about on Monday how much they bought. And honestly, I think they probably bought a pretty significant amount. They're coming up on a blackout period where they can't buy Bitcoin. I might be wrong on the terminology there, but there's a period where they can't buy Bitcoin, and they're getting close to that. They're trying to hit that at the money offering. I think they had $6 billion left, and it looked like they were trying to use that pretty hard earlier in the week. So we'll see how much they have actually bought in about 48 hours. But yeah, we'll continue to monitor that. Keep in mind too, the ETFs bought 2,900 Bitcoin this week. So while the last few days have been a little bit rough for Bitcoin, they still purchased a decent amount of Bitcoin. They bought 52,800 Bitcoin so far this month, 520,000 Bitcoin so far this year. So anyone spreading FUD about BlackRock selling a lot, they're either blowing it out of proportion or they just don't really know what's happening, or they're trying to clickbait a little bit. You can see though, just massive buying, and we're not even through the end of the month yet. My guess is there's inflows this next week and the week after and stuff like that. There's going to be volatility though. Keep in mind, Bitcoin's up a significant amount. I mean, just from August, early August, we were at $50,000. We actually dipped to under 49,000. And now we're twice that. So yeah, I'm not too worried about this market. I think, it's healthy for us to see some flushes of leverage and some people panic sell. But BlackRock holding very strong, considering that they have, I think over 500,000 Bitcoin and they sold less than 1,000. So we're talking about like 0.2% of the ETF sold off the other day. And we're right in between the two previous cycles in terms of ROI, bottom to top. Yeah, this is typically where we get some more exciting bull market action over the next year. So be ready for volatility because there are deep drops in price during this part of the bull market. Like you'll see the market run up and then dip 40-50% and then run up and then dip 40-50%. We did get news from El Salvador. Max Kaiser, who is in El Salvador and is a big proponent of El Salvador and what they're doing there, said President Bukele has ramped up daily Bitcoin buys with an interim goal of acquiring 20,000 more Bitcoin. Keep in mind, they were buying 1 Bitcoin a day. So 20,000 divided by 365, that would have taken them about 55 years to hit that 20,000 Bitcoin mark, or 20,000 more Bitcoin. But now they're talking about an interim goal, which who knows what that means. Let's say it's a 1-year goal. That means that they're planning on buying something like 55 Bitcoin a day. At today's prices, 20,000 Bitcoin would cost, let's see, about $2 billion. And they just secured a $3.5 billion loan from the IMF. So I made a video on this the other day. People were bearish because El Salvador is turning away from Bitcoin as legal tender, which I don't think is that big a deal because not everyone's going to use it. They introduced it. A lot of people had the chance to use it. If they want to continue using it, great. But why force people to use something that they don't want? There are some people that just don't want it, and then they might even like it less because they have to accept it. So allowing them to use it, but then stacking it on the backside in your own treasury, I think is maybe even smarter because you're taking the pressure away from the people to adopt it, and then you're just adopting it. You get all the upside without having to deal with citizens being upset about it. So buying $2 billion worth of Bitcoin definitely will help the nation, especially if Bitcoin continues to grow. So that is pretty interesting, pretty cool. And they are the first country to adopt Bitcoin as legal tender and then also to start stacking in their treasury, at least publicly. Tether made a big announcement. Rumble made a big announcement about Tether. Today, Rumble enters a new era. We partnered with Tether, a company that exports American values to the entire world and who are major advocates of free speech. I couldn't be more excited to have them as partners and be working with them. So he's pretty excited. The CEO of Rumble. Now, what is Rumble? Well, we actually covered it recently because they announced that they're going to buy up to $20 million in Bitcoin. To diversify. So they're adding it to their balance sheet. They're a competitor for this platform, for YouTube. So you can use Rumble to upload videos, to watch content, that kind of thing. I think this is pretty interesting. The word is that they got a $750 million investment from Tether. Now, I think Rumble is, I'm certain Rumble is a public company. Let's see, they're around a $2 billion market cap. After hours, 50% up. So let's see when this was announced. Yeah, this was announced last night when the market was still open and post-market. So they got $750 million investment, pumped up about $1 billion. So this is going to give them a lot of cash to spend, right? This is going to allow them to grow. This is huge for them. And they announced a Bitcoin buy recently. Maybe they buy even more Bitcoin because of the $750 million. Tether obviously trying to diversify. They've invested in so many different companies. They've invested in different cryptocurrencies, and they just print money. You can see why companies like Blackrock definitely want in on the stablecoin game. You can see why Ripple wants to get in on it. Tether's printing $4, $5, $6 billion a year just in cash flow, and that's not including all their investments. So yeah, this is really a beneficial thing, I think, for more companies to get into stablecoins, provide more competition. There'd be cool things like maybe even they start airdropping you tokens as a yield, right? 2-3% interest rate. That might be coming down the line, but who knows? This is really cool, though. Let me know your thoughts on it underneath the video. Again, if you want to trade crypto, there's a link to BTCC. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'll see you all in the next one. Have a great weekend.